Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Bookish Artist Mandy here, and I am coming at you today with a new pen day. Well, I'm not sure, we'll see. I was perusing Amazon the other day, as one should not do. Okay, no, actually I was on there for a specific reason, because I have almost ran out of my Schneider apricot ink, and I was looking, and apparently we must be making Schneider ink a little bit harder to come by, us in the community, because the Schneider ink for apricot was $10 compared to $4 that I paid in June. So I was looking around and seeing if there were other places on Amazon that I could buy it, and I ran into this, which is a Schneider, I am not even going to try to say this, Geshganet. Okay, I did try to say it. I'm just pretending. Callisima apricot. And so this was like a little set of a pen that Schneider makes with the ink cartridges. And I got it for, I think, like $13, $14, $15, somewhere in there. Not crazy, but it had either a 1.1, a 1.5, or 1.8. So it comes with all of the different stubs. And I'm always like skeptical on whether I like stubs or not. But I thought for that price, because this itself was $9, why not try this out? Because I can always use a fun stub, especially that one that comes with the 1.1 and then the 1.5 and the 1.8. You could, I think they have these where you can get them with just the one nib, but I was like, why not? Try it out. So it comes with an empty cartridge, which is always nice. I love having an empty cartridge. Oh, that one's a broken empty cartridge. Oh, and it comes with a cartridge inside. So the empty cartridge that was attached here must be so it can keep it protected. Haha, got it. Awesome. Well, so that's not an empty cartridge that I can use, but that's good to know. So I'm going to stick this in here. I'm going to start with the 1.1 stub. I may see and try out the other two, but I want to try. So this pen, I'm feeling it. It is very light, thin, very not great quality for plastic. It honestly does feel like the plastic that I get, the PLA I get in my 3D printer. Which could be a fun experiment to see if I could figure out how to 3D print some bottoms and tops. I'm not fancy. I don't know how to make anything on my 3D printer, but somebody else could, and then I could have 3 of these. No, I don't know. But anyway, I don't think that there are enough people out there interested in these things to make a 3D print file. But what is this called again? I don't even know if it has, so this is the calligraphy set. So this is Schneider. And they have this in the other ink colors, or they had them in a couple others. I know that the Bermuda Blue was one of the options, and maybe the blush. I'll have to look. Schneider ink. Apricot. Calligraphy set. Okay, actually for a stub nib, this is actually really nice. Might I say, this one, if you look, I don't know if it's going to pick up, if I can get it to not, get it to kind of look here, if you can see with my hand, maybe with my hand. It its corners on the nib are more rounded. I should pull out one of my TWSBIs and show you because it feels more like it feels nicer than one of my TWSBIs for a nib. Like this is smoother for me to write with. I prefer this right now. 1 second, I'm gonna go find a TWSBI with a stub. I don't know if I have a TWSBI with a stub that's inked up because I think I have 3 or 4 TWSBIs that have stub nibs and they usually end up not inked. I'll be right back. I found one. Okay, so I wanna look. So the nibs are obviously very, very different. This nib is the tiniest little nib I've ever seen. It looks kind of like a little short guy. So the nib, when you look at it, I want to compare the 1.1s. The TWSBI, I wonder if it looks like to be that the TWSBI nib is a little shorter. Now this is a really wet ink, which is nice. This is the Shikiori Sasabune, and it works really nice. But I find that my TWSBI, and it could be just the angle that I do my stub, I find the TWSBI does this. See, I struggle with stub nibs because a lot of my experience is with TWSBI. I have had the Pilot CM. I don't know. I just don't like the way that Pilot, the lower priced Pilots aren't always comfortable for my hands. The Kakuno is not too bad, but I don't have my CM in a Kakuno. I'm pretty sure I have it in Metropolitan, and I probably could trade it, but I just haven't. So this writes really well because this ink is really wet, but I find that I have a really hard time with it. So now it's, of course, now it's working, but right there it wasn't, you know. But I do struggle going straight, and it could be my left hand with this stub or with all stubs, but this one, you can see it does have a little bit more feedback on the paper. Like I can feel it being a little bit more rough, but it's not that the tines are unaligned. The tines are aligned just fine. It's that I think this apricot ink does tend to run a little bit dry. If anybody else has used the Schneider inks in the apricot, is that the case for you too? Because I have found it's kind of dry. I had to switch one of my what is it, my Kaweco Sports that my apricot is in. I had to switch it to a medium nib from a fine, and it's working great. I love the color. It is definitely just an orange, where a lot of my shading, like colors like this, run pink or more neon, because I have my colors like this a lot of the times are the Sailor inks. So I have Manyo Sakura and 173, and this one doesn't have the same kind of tones as those. This one is just more orange or apricot. It's because it's a yellow or orange, I guess, but I like it. So okay, I'm gonna try the 1.5 and see. Maybe. Sometimes I like to do this. Shake it vigorously. Isn't that how we do this? Isn't that how we do this, right? Shaking it vigorously? I don't know. There, so, okay. So now I want to see if the 1.5 stub is gonna work as well, because that's where you really start getting fun with letters. So Mandy, which, I mean, that's my name. Okay. So yeah, the 1.5 is also grand. So a header like Monday. Okay, can I get smaller? Okay, and so I'm gonna just put this line there. So it is thicker. Haha, I love that. Okay, I'm gonna try the last one. Here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna have to clean these out really quick after this. I feel like I'm always cleaning out pens. I feel like I just never stop. I think I have way too many pens inked right now, but that's my life. That's how it goes, right? Not everybody's like me, but I love having fun and playing with my pens. So now this one doesn't seem much bigger than this is a 1.8, so the 1.5 and the 1.8, but maybe I need to get it going still. Like, hello. I know that there's some really cool things that you can do with calligraphy nibs, and I have not figured that out yet. I really want to that's one of my goals, is to learn some more calligraphy with these stub calligraphy nibs, because I don't have it. I don't have that skill at this point. But even just writing is a lot of fun. So yeah, there's that. And I know that the pens with the ink cartridges, they come with a pen that's similar to color. So there are different color options. And Monday. Okay, now that it's really flowing, it is bigger than the 1.5, but not that much bigger. But this is fun because I can do things like my opening on my journals. I always like to do a block letter. Like, it's July, so do a block letter here. See, it makes it fun, kind of, right? I don't know. If you have any recommendations for a channel or a little course online that has some calligraphy practice, I would love it. I did the so it's happily, I believe, happily never crafter, and she had this thing called Show Me Your Drills for modern calligraphy, and she did drills in her course, and so I took that. It was like a 30-day free course, and then I took that and then got one of her like advanced courses, and it really, this, like doing this, even just like the hello and this, I would not have been able to do years ago without her. But I just love the way that writing looks when you have a stub. I love my mini stub on my SD because it gives you that variance, but it's just kind of fun to have a little bit of a variance. Now people love their Pilot Parallels, but I got a couple of them, and I'm not saying anything that they're wrong because I do like them. But I find that the bigger, the thicker this gets, the harder it is for me. So I usually like a 1.1 or 1.5. And I don't want to be, I want a pen that I can just throw a cartridge or a converter. This one is cartridge only, but I can, you know, pour ink in here and then just go. I don't want to have to, like, I do like to futz around, but there's sometimes where I don't want to futz around, if that makes any sense. I think I feel like I'm contradicting myself. I don't know. I just have found, I guess I got one of those like those little fat ones to fit those in, and I watched Simone do it, and mine didn't do it. So I don't know. But this is a great option, and it was really cheap. And so, yeah, I'm quite obsessed with Schneider ink. Let me tell you, it's been really fun because it's cheaper ink. And I think this pen, so I'm pretty sure I have all Schneider inks in a pen right now. So this one, so I can show you, this one is blush. and which is the red. Okay, nope, I think this is empty, but that is blush. Yeah, it's empty. This is one I'm cleaning out because I ran out of the cartridge, so I threw the cartridge away. But let's finish the name of that so we have the name. This is blush. And then my other pens, I'm gonna go grab those since I'm here. Why not? I'll show you. Okay, so I refilled this because this is driving me nuts. Just, I can't. Maybe other people are that way, and I'll use that one as a blotter paper, but I'm not going to do swatches on there of these where the color is wrong. So blush works really well, and blush is actually a really, really beautiful red, which is interesting, but I really actually like it quite a bit. It's one of those where red is red, but it kind of reminds me of Rohrer and Klinger's Morinda red, which is my favorite red. So I don't know. I don't have any more because I've ran out of my sample. I haven't bought a bottle of Morinda red. I'm trying. I don't need it because I haven't used it for a while, but yeah. So, okay, and then in my black one, I think I have most of these in my Kavecos. A couple that are not, but most of them are in Kaveco Sports because they're nice little travel. Rose is such a lovely pink, and this is in a broad nib. I love the broad nib for this beauty. I really, just for the price that these cartridges are, and I'm hoping that they eventually go back down. Otherwise, I might have to go to Cult Pens and get them. I probably should just go to Cult Pens and get them rather than Amazon, but I've never ordered from Cult Pens here in the United States, so I'm worried about shipping, but maybe I shouldn't be. I don't know. Somebody tell me who's ordered from Cult Pens how the shipping is to the United States. Lilac is one of those really interesting colors. I really like it. I had it in my Lilac Benu Ambrosia, which is a special edition, and I believe I have a fine or medium nib on there. But this one is really dry, I do find, and this is a double broad. It works so much better in here than it did in my Ambrosia. So I'm trying to find a new color for my Ambrosia, but I kind of put it up for the month since I already had so many pens inked. So I'm trying to figure out another color that goes with it. But Rose and Lilac, I loved, and I thought they were really similar, but not, because, you know, they're purple and pink. However, I took them and did a little experiment. And I mixed one cartridge of each into a vial, and I got this. And it's a little bit different, but this is 1-to-1 Lilac and Rose. And I actually really like it. It's kind of a more pinkish leaning purple. But there we go. So, because I can never get enough of the purples and the pinks, but this one is in a fine nib. So we've got a broad, a double broad, and a fine. And so you can see it's right in the middle. I kind of should have put it right in the middle, but I wanted to have those separate, and then together they make just this lovely color. So I know out there are people who mix colors. I'm thinking of Elise at A Whole Latte Plans. I know she likes to mix, and I know she got these, so I hope that she sees that if she likes that color. They mix beautifully. So, and then apricot. This is a medium nib, so I'm going to show you it just in my pen. Oh, interesting. Okay, so in the medium nib, it is a lot darker than it was in my stub from them. So I wonder if this is just, this flows so much better. Let me see. Now that I've got this piece of paper, let me see. Or maybe it's just me being crazy. No, it is a lot lighter. It is a lot lighter when it comes out in here. And maybe that's just because you have less ink poolage in the stub nib. Yeah, probably. Because see, there's a lot of ink pooling for shading here, and there's not as much place for that ink to go. So, oh, yeah. I still am really enjoying this. I'm surprised. This is the 1.8. I might leave the 1.8 on because I'm really liking that. And I have 1.1 stubs, so having a nicer, bigger, yeah. So you can see how different they look. I mean, it's still the same ink. You can tell it's still the same ink, but it's interesting when you have, I love that when you can have an ink that pools in different places. That's fun. Okay, then I took a whole box of lemon cake and put it in an ink sample vial so I could load it up in my converters, but this is how much I have left of this. This is like my second fill of this, but lemon cake was the reason I found Schneider ink. I just love lemon cake. So here's lemon cake in a really wet nib. So this is my Benu with a medium nib, and Benu's nibs are so wet. And now I think, let me double check. I think I have it in, I also have, no, I didn't. I had it in Honeybee as well, but I think, or I had it in my Kaveco Honey, but I think I switched this out for Honeybee. Let me double check. Yes, I did. I did. Darn it. I wanted to show you. It is with a pen like a Kaveco. It comes out so much lighter, but this is Honeybee, so never mind. I can't show you, but it does. So if your lemon cake isn't showing up legibly, you may need a wetter pen. So this one is like a wet. Benus are wet writers, and I know that Benus you can put your cartridge in, and this is a medium nib, whereas my lemon cake in that Kaveco, it was a fine nib, and I know that my Kavecos, right? My Kavecos, I don't know if everybody else experiences this, they're really dry. So I have a really hard time with some inks in it. I really do, especially fine and extra fine. I don't use them as often, but I have the Hello Kitty models, and the Hello Kitty ones come only in a fine. If I could have gotten the Hello Kitties with the cute little Hello Kitty face in a medium, I would have, but I think at my first pen show ever, when I finally go to one, I don't know when, I want to get one ground down to have a mini stub, because I think that would be a lot of fun. Now this one is interesting because I just don't use it, and this is the Cognac. And I actually have this in my, I'm going to clean out and let it go because I just don't use it. I don't know. I think it's mostly because it's a brown that I have a lot of that I prefer others. It is almost, it feels like a reddish, orangish ochre, but I like other ones better. So this is one that isn't my favorite, but doesn't mean it won't be yours. It's a nice color, and maybe I'll like it eventually, but I tend to like diamine ochre better than this, and I don't know how close they are, but they seem pretty close to my eye. At least I'll grab, actually I have a pen that's inked with diamine ochre. Yes, I have a lot of pens inked because I have like 2 travel cases. These are all in my Kaveco Sports, are all in this Coffee Monsters Co. thing that came in the subscription. So that is one that I can just grab and throw in a bag. So that's why I have them. So let me go look. Are you surprised it's TWSBI? I have two sets of to-go little bags. I need to talk about that and do that on the channel. And this is ochre. They're not completely similar, but this one is far more reddish, and if I'm gonna go like an orangish red, I'm gonna go Afternoon Tea, which I know I had because I was using it this morning for my morning pages. Where did I set that? I will be back again. I'm in the midst of a huge declutter in my house. So it's the middle of July, and I know school will be starting, and no matter what, I will be teaching. I just may not have my own classroom. So I'm trying to get everything ready for the home so we can have so everything gets put away, with last month being kind of a crapshoot with grieving and everything. I feel like everything kind of fell behind. So afternoon tea, and then diamond ochre. Maybe this will make sense when I put them all together. And like, this is one of those things that I think about in my head, but I don't think about when I'm, you know, I don't actually process, why don't I like this ink? Here's why. Okay, so they're all very similar in the similar color family. So afternoon tea is the Sailor Tea Time ink that Micah Oatley had on her channel, and I fell in love and had to buy a bottle because I fell in love with just what she was writing. And this is my second fill in this pen just this month from doing afternoon tea. This is my stub, or this is my mini stub, and I absolutely love it. And it looks so beautiful with afternoon tea. It won't be a permanent pairing because I always have my mini stub pretty much inked with something, but it's very telling that I keep using it and I want to write with it all the time. Diamond ochre is one of my top favorite inks. The difference with these is these are more brown leading and this is more red. So I guess yellow. There's more yellow, so it's oranger, where this cognac is red. Huh, figured it out. So it's very close to a red, and it kind of reminds me of a little bit of dry blood, which I know that there's gosh, ox blood, and that one kind of looks gross, bloody too. And I have a bottle of ox blood, and I used it once, and it reminded me so much of dried blood that it made me queasy, like literally physically made me queasy, because I have sensory issues that I can't use it. And so I have a full 30 milliliter bottle of ox blood. If anybody wants samples or anything, you are more than welcome to reach out and ask me, and I would happily give you some ox blood, because I like writer's blood, which is funny because it wasn't the blood name, it was the color. So I think that's what the cognac is tripping me up. I wonder how close to ox blood it is, but I can't do it. I'm sorry, I cannot compare them for you. I apologize, but it is just not gonna happen. All right, so then this one is the Bermuda Blue. This was one that I bought the box, the little, like the one box, and didn't put it in a pen, didn't swatch it. And then I just thought one day, why don't I try it in this opal Hello Kitty pen, because I wasn't using the color that was in here. I don't even remember what I had in here, but I just didn't like it. And this is a very beautiful pairing, and I am loving it. So, and it actually works really well in this pen. Whatever color I had in here wasn't working, and I thought it might be the pen. But yeah, no, it's working now. So that one is Bermuda Blue. It's kind of a greenish blue, and it's very soft and subtle. I do like that. And then the last one is another favorite. And whenever I finally break down an order from Cult Pens, this one and Lemon Cake are definitely going to be bottles. And this is the Ice Blue. This is just the loveliest shade of blue I have ever seen in my life. Okay, maybe not, but it's one of my favorites. And I think this is the second cartridge I've had in this. This is the Ice Blue Kaweco All Sport. So Ice Blue. Yeah, they feel permanent pairing, so at least for now. But yeah, I love this blue. It is so beautiful and soft, but still legible. And so yeah, there. So those are the colors of the Schneider, and I'm pretty positive for this. I know they have blush, and I'm pretty sure they have the Bermuda Blue. I don't know if they have them all. Maybe they don't on Amazon, but they do overseas. So that could be something if you want. But I do really like this little pen. He's gonna be a nice little play pen. This is not gonna be an everyday writer. This is not a very well-built pen. It is definitely more for play and calligraphy, and I'm not very good at calligraphy. I do want to see, since I have 1.1, I want to see if you can take them out. Oh no, that is in there. So you are not going to get that nib out unless you like break this. So I was going to see if I could, oh, I did get it out. So this nib is a really short nib, and then that feed is really big. So I don't know what other pen you could fit, what you could slip this in. I always have to do this. You might think I'm crazy, but I always have to do this to see. And I mean, they go back in because they're pressurized, and if I ruin it, I ruin it. It's my pen. And I think I put the nib in too far. So I will fix that off camera, but you can see if you compare it, yeah, the nib is too far back in now. So I pushed it, I did not align it correctly, and you can see here. So before I try to write with it again, I better fix that. But I'll grab my actual rubber gripper and do that off camera instead of just using my beautiful, lovely ink thing, inky thing. Anyway, that is the video today. That is what I wanted to share with you, is this little stub nib that I got, and I was very excited because it comes with these and I'm going to be able to play with it. Obviously, I was already trying to play with it and making a mess, and so send me all the wonderful vibes of, hey, your pen is going to work and you're going to get that nib fixed without breaking it, because that is, yeah, that was smart. I'm feeling really smart today. But I will leave the links to this pen, and I'll leave the link to there is one listing that I have found that has all the colors, so I'll leave that and the pen if you're interested. Otherwise, let me know if you're in the Europe area. Is Schneider something that you find other places besides, like, I don't know, has anybody heard of this brand before? This is just discovering it randomly because I was looking for a lemon colored ink is kind of amusing to me, because they have pens. They have other pens too. So I don't know, maybe I should ask my German friend. I have a German teacher friend here, so maybe I should ask her and see if Schneider's something that they have a lot of in Germany, since it is made in Germany. I always hear about Lamy, and is Kaweco German? I'm gonna laugh if you guys are like, no, but I know that there's a lot of German pen makers, and I'm gonna stop talking now because I'm gonna act as if I know things, and I really don't. So anyway, yeah, here is my cute little German, I think it what's it called? There. Callisima. Jeschgenet. And I have no idea what that word is, but there you go. Callisima. I'm calling it, maybe it might be my Calisi pen. Okay, no, I'm joking. I've only watched a couple seasons of that show, so I should not say that. Anyway, I have a wonderful day. If you made it all the way to the end of this video in my silliness, drop me a fruit emoji if you don't have any other comments for this. But I am happy you were here, and thank you so much for coming to my lovely pen talk. All right, see you in the next one. Bye.